Hey, so this week I want to work on connecting that speech to singing and really just working the mechanism of your voice in a way that's comfortable and easy and natural and helps you to kind of stretch that range without focusing or worrying too much on actual pitches or what it sounds like, even trying to sing. So we're going to take the I have to sing out of it, and I want you just to kind of make noise and start to really stretch your voice in that. So I know for most of you that have worked with me before, we've done these sirens and things like that before. So we're going to start there with something that's very, very familiar to us. And I want you to start with it open, just in that owl soundy, whoo, whoo, get that going. And we're going to go all the way through our range. So do that whole thing. Woo. See if you can get it going. Go around a couple of times. Just do that a number of times. Get it real comfortable. So we're going to take that deep breath, because again, you can also be working on how do I fill myself all the way, keeping that nice and tight, seeing that connection between I'm squeezing my abs here and my pitch is going up. So, woo. Just noise. Make some noise. You can also do that on a hum and see if you can find that really forward resonance. So I want to keep that same owl soundy openness in the back, but I want to get a little bit more and kind of find that hum in the front of your face and in your cheekbones and your nose, wherever you feel that. So we're going to start there. Then I want to stretch, and I want to go through just each of the different ranges, right? So we're trying to make that transition all the way through. Now we're going to see if we can stretch out, kind of work to stretch the muscle a little bit, each of those different places. So we're going to start low, and I want you to just start like in the middle, and we're going to go down. Just go down to wherever that feels. If you notice, I'm a very visual person, and I'm very feely, so everything is about where I feel it in my body. So I'm just thinking about / where I picture it in my body. So I'm just thinking about going my normal, like that's where it drops to here, right? And then I want to stretch it. So each time I'm going to try and stretch a little bit further. So I'm going to start I want to get all as far down as I can go. And think about that stretch. Again, it's not about I have to hit a certain pitch or I'm really trying to do something. This is about where it is in your voice. You're not trying to match anything. You're just stretching your own mechanism, your own voice. Where does that feel for you? So kind of do that a couple of times. Like, how many times, where can it go? If you don't feel like you stretched all the way to the bottom, you didn't do it enough times. Like that's, so I don't care about how many times, it's just getting it down there. So I'm stretching. Then we're going to do the same thing on the top. And again, same thing. I want to go kind of where that's normal. Like that's my, up to my head. Like this is my comfort zone. And then we're going to stretch a little bit out of my comfort zone. And then we're going to really stretch, and I don't think I can do that. And then we're going to stretch it again. And like I just want to stretch, right? So we're going So I'm just consistently doing that. You're just kind of doing that over and over. Again, you can do it humming, you can do it open, whichever one you want. Whatever's easiest for you. It's just about kind of stretching. Maybe try it both ways. See which one. The hum gives me a little bit more of that buzz in the front. So specifically for this next one that we're going to do, I find it personally a little easier to do it on the hum, where I want to go. Now I'm going to just hit that transition, that place that we all hate, of the transition between our ranges. It's fine if I can just stay in one range and then I can get up here and do this. But to make that transition from head to chest or from high to low, shifting those registers. So I just want to sit in that place and just, ooh, I'm not going all the way high and low like we did at the beginning. I'm just making the transition and going back through it. You're just doing that. So again, I find that's a little easier for me to do slowly when I've got the buzz to like kind of follow up and down. So I'm gonna right, and you may find one way or the other tends to skip a little bit more. So if you hear that on yours, mine is usually the way up. I can go down a little bit better. On the way up, it wants to jump. I want to like just skip that. So I want to think about really taking my time. Even though I'm going through a smaller area, I still am really taking my time to make sure I'm kind of sliding through all that instead of letting it go and it just jumping. Does that make sense? So, so take your time to do all that. Then we're going to do it just kind of on speech. I'm just going to like yell a little bit. Now, I say yell, and that doesn't necessarily mean loud volume. Okay, so I want it to be more speaky. Try not to like wake your neighbors with this one, right? I'm not trying to like shout at the loudest that I possibly can. That is not the goal. I do, however, want energy. So I want to think about that I'm trying to get energy, because so much of what we do when we're singing and we're doing all that, I want to be able to get that energy moving forward and connect with the audience, even through my tone, and even just being able to like connect to the emotionally and all that stuff. It's got to have this energy in it. I can't just be going, we're just going to say, hey. So if I'm just going, hey, well, that's boring, right? It needs to be and have an actual something behind it. Hey, like you would really, I just told this to one of my students today. It's, to me, it's the, I'm trying to get that child's attention. Don't do that. Apparently that is what I do. With my cousin's kids specifically. I don't have children right now, but I work with a lot of kids and get to hang out with some kids, and it's a lot of, hey, hey, hey. You know, you're wanting to get their attention. That's got to move somewhere. It's got to go. So give it something. That's what's going to help you get some of that breath support and have something underneath what you're doing. So again, same thing. We're going to kind of start in that low. I would start in your middle. Like just find where you would normally say, hey, where does that come out? And that's usually your mid. That's your like easy place, right? We don't naturally just go, hey, unless that is your mid. Unless that's where your mid is. But like, I wouldn't naturally go, hey, like that's not going to happen. But for this, because I have to sing down there sometimes, I want to then stretch that and be able to get that energy even on the lows. So for some of you, if you're working on a song that has something low in it, or where I'm having to come down to this, I want to work on how do I put some energy, how do I put some breath support, how do I give that kind of still some of that speechy sound to it. Because a lot of times, little side note, little trick that we do in there, a lot of times when there's a note that I can't hit, or it like drops too low for me to really sing it, you just speak it. Like I can just pop that out and say the word, but in that lower kind of thing, and it sounds, especially if it's fast, if it's not a note that I have to hold. If it is a note I have to hold, I change it. Don't be afraid to change some of those pitches that are out of your range. But especially if you're wanting to work on kind of expanding your range, this is a great way to do it. I'm just going to stretch like it's any other muscle. I'm going to treat your voice like it's a muscle, because it is. And get that, I'm going to stretch down there. So I'm going to go, hey, 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 hey. Like go down first, right? Because we usually are a little more comfortable with that. It doesn't have to go, hey, like, I want you to keep it kind of speechy. Hey, 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 hey. Like, give yourself that. Try some different inflections. See what works well for you. Then we're going to take that up, and I want you to kind of stretch it up. Again, I'm not, like, yelling like I'm trying to blare anybody's ears out or anything, but I do want you to give it some oomph and give it some of that power and think about stretching. We're going to stretch up into this, what would be our like mixed belty range. So I want to go, hey, hey, hey. And that's about right. Hey, hey. Hear the switch that happens when I do that? Hey, hey. That's like kind of top of my chest belty. There's a little bit of mix in there versus hey, hey. Right? So kind of find your way through there. Again, note I'm not hitting any pitches. I'm not assigning anything to that. I'm just working that in my range so that I can kind of figure out and feel on a natural, very natural, easy, kind of speaky level. I'm not going, hey, hey. I'm not you can feel when that happens, and you can hear it, obviously. And sometimes I feel like you can feel it and hear it better when you're speaking because it's so not natural, right? Because you would never do that in real life. If I'm really yelling at children, because apparently this is what I do, is yell at children. I'm sorry, guys. But that's, I'm gonna just go, hey! Like, it's gonna, if that's where it's just gonna happen. Like, I'm just gonna, hey! Don't do that! Like, it's just gonna happen, and I'm not really thinking about how I'm forming that, and what does that sound like, and is it pretty, and can I hold that? Like, I'm not thinking about all of those things, right? But I'm doing it in a much more natural kind of way. So I want to get that as you go through this. So I'm just gonna go, hey, 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 like kind of go through all those different things and feel the different shifts. I will say, because I had this come up with a couple of students as we were doing this week, make sure that you watch that you don't go, hey, and like really get this big smile on that hey, because that A is going to hinder you. So if it's easier for you to do on no, that may work. If you can't keep, hey, hey, I want to really keep my mouth stretched down and just an easy, hey, and not, hey, and getting all of that in there. So if it's easier for you to do no, 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 like it's totally fine. Again, 4-year-old, whiny no, like just really, you can do that one pretty easy too. Notice that I have to do the finger with it. Like it doesn't work without it. So whatever is natural for you, do that, because it really is just about connecting your what is natural and easy, and the giving yourself this connection of your breath and your speech and having that, and then it's going to apply. So if that's all you have time for and all you can do it. Like that's great. It's awesome that you can just start to do even the little is great for working that little switch, that transition break place that we all have to deal with and none of us like dealing with, and it's always like one of the number one things that when people come in, they're like, I want to fix this. And being able to make that transition. So just doing that is like fantastic. Then if that's all the time you have and that's what you can do that day, great. That's like 10 minutes. In, out, I'm done. I've still worked my entire range, even though I didn't do any singing. So if you have more time, then you go and you put it to pitch. And we're going to do it as a singing. So we're going to switch this up. Actually, no, we're going to do it on hey. So I'm going to start a little low for females. Guys, if you want to start the octave lower, it's totally fine, right? So we're going to go. And we're just going to do real quickly and easy. We're just going to do hays all the way up, and then you're going to connect them on the way down just to give you a little bit of singy feely. Sometimes that may still take a little bit, so if that singy feely is not working well, or if that's not a good range for you, feel free to just do it both ways. So you're going to go hey, 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 and I want it to feel more speaky than singy, especially on the way up. Again, if that is the connection is like screwing you up, just do hey, 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 hey. And I'm really thinking about the breath connection as well. So it should feel very much like I did the same hey, 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 hey. Like, I'm just saying that. And then I'm going to sing. Really, I'm just going to keep my mouth open on the way down. Hey. And make sure you make that switch. So I'm going to go, hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Now the goal with some of this, again, to let it be very speechy, not worry about what the pitches actually are. I've already gone through this in my range, right? I've already gone through all of this. Wherever that switch or that shift happens in your voice, let it do it. Don't try and make yourself do something. This is about just, honestly, even sometimes discovering where that happens. I'm actually quite surprised because I feel like I'm not really switching yet, and I feel like if I was just looking at the notes, I would think I should be switching. But when I just let myself do it, hey, 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 that's still very, very speechy, right? So I want to keep that. Don't freak out about how high it is. This is where you can't see where my hands are. So you don't even know. You have no idea how high we are, and that's okay. I'm going to leave it that way. So, hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. And if you've switched already, great. Just do whatever is natural for you. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. And I don't know if you can tell, but I've switched. So it happened probably about one below that. I'm in that place of hey, hey, where all of them are different. Okay, we've gone through this with a couple of my students where every note is kind of in a different place. It's really annoying. But especially when you're on the speechy, it gets you through that hey, 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 hey. Hear how each one of them is a little bit different. Hey, 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 hey. Especially here. Hey, 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 hey. Each one is kind of moving across that that bridge. So each one is kind of a little bit different, but very, very small. So that's why you don't hear it in the big scheme of things, because each one of them is just a little bit different instead of there being one that's like way different. So keep trying that. I'm just stretching through that passage. Hey, 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 hey. 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 I'm going to do one more. Hey, 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 hey. Great. Very, very good. I'm going to come back down and just do the piano. See if you can switch it to no or ba or some other vowel, consonant. Do actually might be hard. Do, 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 do. Changes the tone of it a lot. So maybe do ba. Ba, 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 ba. Notice how each vowel change does something different. No, 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 no. Ba, 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 ba. Try K, 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 K. Again, all of them I want to be more speechy than singy. Make sure when you're doing this, I should have said this earlier, make sure when you're doing this that you're getting yourself back down. So once we've gone all the way up and we make that shift, make sure that each one of those, I'm going to start up here again. No, 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 no. I want it back. So even if you have to go back to hey, 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 I want to find that. Hey, 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 hey. It's got to come back to where I started. Don't let it go. Hey, 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 hey. Here where that's really light and airy. Because I can't actually sing it in head voice. I have nothing. It wants to be, hey, I can make it still that pretty sound. Hey, hey. I can match the sound by mixing a little bit, but it needs to have some hey in it. So again, for the purposes of stretching, I don't care how drastic that change is. I just want to make the change. I want to make sure that I'm getting through all of the range. Last two. There you go. Awesome. And if that's not low enough or high enough, you can always just keep going and do more. But I just want to give you a little bit of practice that you can do. So start with that, just very, very speechy, nice and easy. Then really start to connect that to the pitches. It doesn't need to be pretty. It doesn't need to be any more than that. I'm just kind of speaking on pitch. So happy practicing.